What's up, maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about Raw. This was the go-home show before Summerslam. We had a few big angles come to a head, getting us ready and warmed up for SummerSlam, which is going to come from the Thunderdome. We've heard that's going to be a thing now. So I can't wait to kind of get into this show with you. And if you're looking forward to this review, stay tuned. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you click the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell too, so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. So I'm going to discuss some of the main angles that took place on the show, and then I'll run through the results of everything else that happened from the actual matches that happened. In the main event segment, we had Shawn Micheals come out. Now, Shawn Micheals was a special guest on the show. He had previously spoken to Drew McIntyre on the night backstage and basically told him, look, I know you look up to Ric Flair. It's a shame what happened, last week. We all look up to Ric Flair and we're all pretty sad of what's happened. You have to stay focused. Remember when you came back to NXT, these are the promises that you made to become WWE champion. We want you to keep that title. And he basically G'd up Drew McIntyre, kind of got him out of the sunken place that he had fallen into, feeling bad for Ric Flair. And Drew McIntyre seemed to take that on board. Shawn Micheals told him that later on, I'm going to go out, I'm going to speak to Randy Orton, and I need you to kind of stay put, let me deal with him, sort of thing. Shawn Micheals went to the ring in the main event segment and was basically saying everything that he said in the back, that, Ric Flair is a massive inspiration to not just him, but to other wrestlers in the industry, in the locker room, and that Randy Orton is out of order, basically, and gave a stern warning to Randy Orton that, he better be careful because at SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre is coming for him, coming to knock his head off, basically. As Shawn Micheals' music hits and he turns around to leave the ring, Randy Orton emerges. So obvious that was gonna happen. Turns him around, hits him with the RKO, and just didn't even stop there. Took off his little vest hoodie thing that he wears, bounced off the ropes, came back, punted Shawn Micheals straight in the head. And before too long, Drew McIntyre came running down to the ring. Randy Orton left the ring. And one thing I did notice from all of this, Shawn Micheals didn't really sell his injuries for too long. Yeah, he kind of backed himself up into the corner and started sitting up, but people have been laying out flat from punts, let alone RKOs. You see what I mean? So Shawn Micheals, didn't really seem to sell the punt as everyone else has been selling it. I did think that was going to be the end of the show right there, and I was already quite frustrated thinking we should have got a go home of Randy and Drew getting into some type of altercation, but we didn't get it. But we did get it. I jumped the gun. Randy Orton basically came back and tried to attack Drew on the sly. Drew beat him pretty bad, to the point where Drew got back into the ring to check on Shawn Micheals. And when he did that for a second time, Randy Orton capitalized and RKO'd Drew. My one little gripe about this segment, I don't know why it had to be Shawn Micheals in the middle of this. I feel like it didn't need it, especially after last week with Ric Flair. We don't have to overly do this legend killer thing and, taking out Hall of Famers and all of that kind of stuff. Randy Orton has got a match with Drew McIntyre, and until this evening, until the last little segment of the main event, we didn't really see much of an altercation between the two, all the way along the road until this point. And I do think we could have just done without Shawn Micheals. I mean, it really could have been anyone. Could have been Triple H, it could have been Batista. But I don't think it needed any one of these figures, especially after last week. It should have just been a straight shootout this week between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Regardless of this though, I did think it was an effective angle. It's been a really good build to this story. And like I said last week, I am expecting a Randy Orton win at SummerSlam. I am going to do a SummerSlam predictions episode on this channel. I may have some special guests for you guys, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for that. We seem to be doing episodic updates of Retribution and Raw Underground, so I will just give you a little bit of information on what happened on those fronts. Retribution started the night by messing up all of the graphics, all of the technical things around WWE. Their opening package was messed up. A lot of graphics popping on the screen when Drew McIntyre was delivering a promo right at the beginning of the show. And then we saw that basically Retribution had taken over the production truck and were messing with the graphics guys and the TV production guys in there. Again, destroying a lot of things, not much advancement in what their message is. It's really becoming repetitive. I think one missed opportunity from WWE is definitely with them doing this WWE Thunderdome thing. Why didn't they have tonight on Raw, Retribution completely destroy the Performance Center? Completely destroy, and I'm not talking about what they did on SmackDown, I'm talking about literally rip the ring to shreds, destroy all the plexiglass, destroy the TV production trucks and all these other kind of backstage areas that are influential for the show to happen, destroy the Performance Center. That way, WWE could have used in storyline why they moved to the Amway Center, why they are using WWE Thunderdome, and why that's going to be a thing. They could have actually used this storyline to get them there, as opposed to just announcing it. But yeah, definitely I feel like Retribution are just becoming very, very repetitive, and I'm beginning, if I haven't lost it already, I'm beginning to lose serious interest in whatever they are here to do. And on Raw Underground this week, we did see a few new things which I did like. I like seeing Swerve and some other members of the WWE Universe with money in their hand, looking like they're gambling on some of the matches that were taking place in Raw Underground. Dolph Ziggler was really good in his match on Raw Underground. He's beginning to look like a bit of the MVP with his wrestling style in such an environment. He was really good. We saw the debut of Marina Shafir, one of the 4 horsewomen of MMA, UFC. She was in there and she made her opponent submit. She was soon to be attacked by Nia Jax, who has got a thing going on with Shayna Baszler at the moment. So it's good to kind of see that story kind of continue through to there. But just in terms of a direction of Raw Underground, it just doesn't seem like they're going to do anything with it apart from just have it kind of flash in and out of the main show. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens once they switch over to this Thunderdome, and maybe even further down the line when fans come back. Is this actually still going to be a thing? I can't really see it going on for the next couple of weeks, especially without giving it some real meaning. But yeah, it was better in places this week. So before we get on to the results of the other matches that were on the card, guys, if you are enjoying today's review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. It helps this channel more than you would know, and it's thoroughly appreciated. The first action that we got on the show was Apollo Crews taking on Shelton Benjamin. The stipulation for this match was that if Apollo Crews was to win, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley have to stay backstage for the US Championship match at Summerslam. And sure enough, Apollo Crews got the win off the back of a distraction when R-Truth and Akira Tozawa were running around ringside in a 24/7 title related matter. So yeah, Apollo Crews got the win here, but straight after the match, in his frustration, Shelton Benjamin took out R-Truth and became the 24/7 champion. Battling for the love of Demi Burnett backstage, we had a match between Ivar and Angel Garza. This was a quicker match than I thought, and there was a few kind of missteps in here. Maybe these two didn't quite have chemistry with each other coming into this match, but Angel Garza got the win, and it looks like he's not doing the wing clipper anymore. A couple weeks now he's won matches with this like drop kick to the side of the head, which looks effective anyway. It looks more effective to me than the wing clipper did. So yeah, Angel Garza picked up the win here. Following this match, we actually got Angelo Dawkins on the Titron saying that he's got video footage of something that everybody would like to see. And it was later revealed that that video footage showed Zelina Vega looking like she was possibly tampering with Montez Ford's cup. So this goes back to the storyline of Montez Ford being poisoned, and it looks like Zelina Vega has been caught red-handed in the act. Next up, we had Natalya versus Mickie James. Mickie James, who's returning to action from a long-term injury. I can't tell you one thing that happened in this match, because at this time Seth Rollins came out and he was arguing with Samoa Joe, saying, how do you know Rey Mysterio is going to be present here tonight on Raw? Couldn't really focus on the match. They kept showing Seth Rollins, not really showing the action in the ring, and I think in the end Natalya actually won by a count out. So a bit of a waste of these women's time, if I'm completely honest. We had Asuka and Shayna Baszler take on the Golden Role Models Bayley and Sasha Banks. Pretty early on in this match, Nia Jax basically jumped out of the crowd and attacked Shayna Baszler and somehow wasn't disqualified. That should have been Golden Role Models disqualified and Shayna Baszler and Asuka picking up the win. They've done something like this in recent weeks, so why wasn't the disqualification made? Asuka was forced to fight this tag team match, basically handicapped for long periods until Shayna Baszler came back, and eventually we saw Sasha Banks in an Asuka lock on the outside of the ring, and then Bayley in a Kirifuda clutch inside the ring, who tapped out. So Baszler got a clean win in the end. This match shouldn't have happened because there should have been a disqualification very early on, but WWE. And then yeah, we're moving on to SummerSlam, where we're gonna get Asuka versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship and Asuka versus Sasha for the Raw Women's Championship. We had Peyton Royce step in for her friend Billie Kay to take on Ruby Riott. I feel like Peyton Royce has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting in recent weeks for the Iconics, and I know that it's come out recently that Vince McMahon really likes Peyton Royce and sees her as a single star, but I don't want them to just kind of put all the spotlight on her. Billie Kay still has a lot to offer in my opinion, and in my opinion there's not even the space for Peyton Royce to kind of flourish as a single star right now, so they don't need to force that move right now. But Peyton Royce did pick up the win here over Ruby Riott with the Deja Vu again. Beautiful looking move, it's just amazing every time I see it. Rey Mysterio did actually return to Raw, and he was with Dominic, who was still obviously harboring those injuries from the 30 kendo stick shots he took last week. Rey Mysterio ended his promo by basically calling out Seth Rollins and Murphy, saying that, you know, you can't attack my son on his ones. Now I'm here, let's do this if you're really on it. Seth Rollins said that's on you, and he came down to the ring with Murphy. Now, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio laid a really good trap right here for them. As Seth Rollins and Murphy entered the ring, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio exited. Dominic Mysterio was selling the injuries that he had picked up, and basically Seth Rollins and Murphy had just turned all their attention over to Rey Mysterio. As Rey Mysterio kind of took them around the ring and they had their backs turned on Dominic Mysterio, Dominic entered with 2 kendo sticks and whacked the hell out of Seth Rollins and Murphy. Joined in the ring then by his dad, Rey Mysterio. They both attacked Seth Rollins, tried to tie him up in the ropes like they did to Dominic last week. Seth escaped with the help of Murphy, and yeah, they announced that this match at SummerSlam is going to be a street fight. I am invested in this match. I had lost a bit of interest in this entire story when we were getting towards the eye for an eye match at Extreme Rules. I thought it was a bit too much and it was lasting a bit too long, but since Dominic has kind of taken the forefront in all of this, I've really been invested. He's been really good, and I hope they can put on a great match at SummerSlam. We had Apollo Crews, Ricochet and Mustafa Ali take on the Hurt Business in a 6-man elimination tag match. Mustafa Ali and Ricochet got eliminated pretty early on by Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, leaving Apollo Crews in a 3-on-1 situation, which he kind of tallied up pretty quickly. He got rid of Shelton Benjamin first and then MVP, but Bobby Lashley was a step too far, and Bobby Lashley got the win over Apollo Crews, I think with a spear. I failed to mention that when Shelton Benjamin was actually eliminated from this match, Cedric Alexander came out of nowhere and actually pinned Shelton Benjamin and became the new 24/7 champion. Cedric Alexander, for whatever reason, chose to defend the 24/7 championship immediately after against Akira Tozawa. And despite beating Akira Tozawa with a lumbar check, a move we probably haven't seen in a very long time, but it's still a brilliant move, Shelton Benjamin came out of nowhere afterwards to take out Cedric Alexander, pin him and regain the 24/7 championship. Last but not least, we saw Montez Ford take on Andrade. This is, I guess, getting a bit of revenge on Zelina and her stable for the poisoning, now that we do know it was very likely that it was Zelina that did that. This match didn't last very long. Montez Ford was on the ascendancy when Zelina Vega got up on the apron to maybe cause a distraction. Bianca Belair came out. Zelina Vega tried to jump off the apron onto Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair caught her and gave her a slam onto the outside of the ring, which distracted Andrade and he got rolled up by Montez Ford. Like I said last week, this has been a really good story for the tag team championships, kind of a really strong feud amongst these two teams. I do think Andrade and Garza are probably going to pick it up at SummerSlam, but regardless, the story that's been told has been really, really interesting, and I'm looking forward to the match. So guys, that was my Raw review. Like I said earlier, a lot of stories coming to a head. We're in a really nice position going into SummerSlam. I'm really looking forward to this show. And even more so now, I'm kind of looking forward to what this whole WWE Thunderdome is going to look like. They said they're going to get virtual fans, drone shots of the matches. So I'm really looking forward to everything that's going to take place. Guys, comment down below, what are some of your SummerSlam match predictions? And if you enjoyed this review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button and give us a like. And if you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.